What is true love? What is the real reason we want love? Why do people search for love their whole lives? Schopenhauer said this in his The Theory of Sexual Love. Feeling of love is the will to preserve the species through individual sacrifice. The task of the species takes precedence over the individual. By falling into the delusions and fantasies of love and being possessed by love, individuals suffer, but the generation continues. It is said that through this rational consideration of sexual love, Schopenhauer attempted to provide some help to those who are, or are about to fall into sexual love, and to those who are sacrificing their personal happiness due to delusion. He told people never to fall in love. If you look at the animal world, this is actually true. The fact that nature enables two individuals with entirely different personalities to fall in love might be a manipulation of nature to produce a second generation with better personalities, although the two will suffer infinitely due to their personality differences. However, there is one point that Schopenhauer overlooked. The reason humans fall in love after being struck by Cupid's arrow is not only for the preservation of the species, but ultimately for the evolution of life. He said that all living things are playthings for the preservation of species in the universe. But I think that was a comment born out of his conceit. However, true humility is knowing the will of heaven, life, and living according to that will. That is truly our destiny. Even if that fate is a path of suffering, if it is the path you must take, persevere and follow it faithfully. That is why Jesus was crucified, according to the will of heaven, and that is why Nietzsche said, "Love your fate." However, the great thing that humans can be the warrant of all things is that they can break away from the simple playthings of the universe and become life-love itself. By falling into the illusion of love by being hit by Cupid's arrow, even if we suffer a lot from an opponent with the opposite personality, we humans can discover true love in it. It is only possible when we understand and overcome the many pains we experience in our own sacrifice. It is possible by getting away from the ego of feeling pain. Love is the instinct for an individual to become one with the whole. Originally, all beings in the world have the instinct to become one with the whole. In fact, this universe is one. In our body, numerous cells are active with their own functions. But ultimately, our body is one. When small water droplets and large water droplets are placed close together, the small water droplets are absorbed by the large water droplets. Likewise, the individual, I-ego, also has the instinct to become one with the whole. This is what appears through the action of love. However, we humans are unique in that we have something called I-ego, so we always feel separated from the whole. This is because I-ego blocks the space between my life and nature, the whole like a membrane. When we were very young, this barrier was almost non-existent. So we did not feel separated from nature, but as we grew up, this barrier became thicker, and we became increasingly distant from nature. This feeling of separation gives I-ego the fear and pain of death. This is because nature is eternal, but individuals are finite. Just as the sea is eternal, but the water drops are finite. In order for a water drop to last forever, it must jump into the ocean. It is like death to a drop of water. But that is the way water drops can last forever. Therefore, in order for us to be eternal like nature life, we must remove the membrane called I-ego that blocks between nature and our life. This membrane called I-ego separates ourselves from the whole, causes pain, and makes us feel the fear of death. Therefore, only when this I-ego die can we become one with the whole. So why do we want love? Because while we love, we can become one with the whole. At that moment, you become one with nature and cannot feel any sense of separation. While in love, I-ego does not exist. No, you can forget I-ego. The reason people indulge in alcohol, drugs, and all other pleasures is to forget the sense of separation from the whole caused by this I-ego and the unconscious fear of death that results from it. This is to forget the frustration caused by desires of I-ego and the resulting pain. So, love is the instinct of an individual to become one with the whole nature. It is also a struggle by I-ego to escape from the fear of death. However, in order to gain eternal life love, I-ego must die. This is the paradox of love. In fact, true love is like death. That death is the death of I-ego. I-ego cannot become one with love life without dying. In that respect, the words love, death, and life are synonyms. True love is like death. In the end, to love is to jump into death. For true love, I-ego must die. The reason why pain comes with love is because of I-ego. I-ego try to protect I-ego, but love does not allow that. We constantly inflict pain on each other, on the world. The other person experienced growing up, that is, on I-ego. Therefore, maintaining I-ego is not easy, even though couples or lovers become one and love each other. The reason they constantly fight when they return to reality is because of each other's obsession with I-ego. Love is difficult if you don't break that obsession. The saying that we break up because we love each other may be because one of us can no longer endure the pain, because it feels like I-ego will die in that pain. It is for I-ego to live. But what is important here is that for true love, the I-ego, who is afraid of death, must die. That's why true love is not easy. You must be prepared for a lot of pain. However, that pain is an essential process for discovering true love. Pain is God's grace and the door to liberation. The reason we meet and fall in love with someone with a completely opposite personality may be an elaborate plan by the universe to cause each other pain so that we can find true love. Therefore, everyone may hope to return to the home of primordial life love, that is, the world of God, as soon as possible. That is why hardships and trials are called God's smile. God's grace and pain is the door to liberation. So, our life unconsciousness may hate those who love us more than ourselves. In my case, because I loved her more than she loved herself, because it was obsession, not love. Her life unconsciously felt repulsed and offended by the restraint. So she might have relentlessly hang on to my obsession to make me realize my wrong love obsession. When life deviates from the law of self-preservation, it sends out a danger signal, as if my unconsciousness life knew that it was a wrong love. I felt a sense of deprivation deep in my heart. However, the I-ego in my heart ignored my inner voice and continued to cling to her. My obsession may have brought satisfaction to the I-ego within her, but her unconsciousness life would have felt a certain sense of restraint and pressure. This is because obsession only suppresses the other person's love and freedom and never allows them to grow. In the end, what life wants is true love. I hope that he will mature into a true adult through the pain of love. Also, true love is about helping the other person grow by allowing them to love themselves more. That's why love sometimes has to be cold.